Everybody, my name is Justin Hein. I'm one of the co-founders of Rose Rocket. You will not hear anything about Rose Rocket today. Let's talk about the 30, the 300, and the $3 billion startup. Let's have a little discussion on how to optimize for the best outcome for your startups in the audience. Little disclaimer, totally for fun here. I know none of these companies personally, purely observational. Your mileage will 100% vary, and if you're a VC in here, I apologize up front. So what do I actually mean? We're here for the... Okay, so we're all in here, we're all trying to build a startup, or we're trying to build a venture-backable company, and it's very tough, but we want to do all the great things. We want to work with exceptional people, we want to work on challenging problems, but ultimately we also want a big exit. And I think there are three types of exits. I think there's a $30 million, a $300 million, and a $3 billion exit, and I'm going to tell you the differences of them. Before we get there, a quick one slide on my journey. 2009, I started a company called Spends. I launched at TechTO Disrupt on stage in front of 6,000 people in 2011. I didn't know it at the time, but that was really a $30 million attempt. I really should have been optimizing for some other things. In 2013, I started a company called Freightnex. I didn't know it at the time. I was going after a $300 million exit. Didn't happen, died in 2015. Late 2015, we started Rose Rocket, November 27th, when we got our first check from our first customer. Maybe we'll be a $3 billion company. We're certainly trying every day to get there. We went to Y Combinator in 2016. So, 6,000 people on stage. I'm standing up there wearing a shirt, not this one, another one, and I got destroyed. Read this. Brutal trashing of Team Spends by TechCrunch commentators. Who can't believe you track expenses? Tough questions for JD Hein and Team Spends at TechCrunch Disrupt. Wow, Team Spends is getting ripped on stage. But Eric was really nice. I thought the app was pretty cool. So thank you, Eric. And those I found like last week, so those are still out there. But 2016 went through Y Combinator much better. All right, back to the talk. So what are we working on? 300, I call it a feature business. It means that you need to draft behind someone else's platform to get your revenues or users. Let's use example Bitstrips, Bitmoji, right? Drafted behind Snapchat's rise, exited for $64.5 million. The $300 million business, I call it a business, type business. It's a standalone business. Think RelateIQ. So RelateIQ was a CRM that used AI in the background. I don't know, whatever their pitch was. Sold to Salesforce for $270 million thereabout. The $3 billion is the platform. I call that the platform style business. You are the platform others make money on. Think Shopify, IPO, Salesforce, those type of things. Well, not IPO, Shopify's IPO'd. I'm going to tweet this thing out in the interest of time. I'm not going to go through all these things, but I'm going to have a quick summation of a couple strategies you can use for different ones. So for $30 million startup, you want to get your integrations done fast, and you want to get to know the company or the platform you're integrating with. So again, Bitmoji, Snapchat, if you're going to sell to Salesforce, why aren't you integrated to Salesforce right now and get to know their corp devs? Because companies are only bought by companies that they know them, right? So you got to get to know them, integrate fast, draft behind them. The $300 million startup. This one, you really need to understand your customer funnel. You need to know the ROI and how much cash it takes to drive someone through the funnel and how long that takes. Because you're going to go after a venture fundable business here, and you're going to want to make sure that you have the right cash in the bank to make the cash come out the bottom side. The $3 billion startup, a lot of stuff here. But I think that the best way to think on the $3 billion startup is make sure your leadership team can level up. So what do I mean by that? I mean that you're going to have people that start at 10 people, and then they're going to have a different breakpoint at 25, then they're going to have a different breakpoint at 50, then they're going to need to become lieutenants, or you're going to have to replace them at the VP level, which can hurt your culture if they don't like it. Then they're going to have to go to 150, 300, you see where I'm going. So really make sure that the people you acquire early days can level themselves up, or you can teach them. And let's even take a quick sidebar. Can you yourself level up? So think about that. If you're not the founder that can go after that, you got to have a different conversation with yourself. All right, playbook ideas. The $30 million startup, I think it's about a 1 to 3 timeline. You want to optimize for that quick exit. You're going to be less than 20 people. If you're 40 and you're going for a $30 million exit, I mean, it can work. There's always exceptions. You want to optimize for drafting behind somebody. The $300 million exit, it's going to be a 3 to 10 year battle journey. You're going to be greater than 20 people. You really want to optimize for your customer list, your NPS, and your sales team. You really want to have a book of business because the company that buys you is buying that book of business. They don't care about your product. They care about the sales that your products generate. The $3 billion startup, that's a 7 to 20-year journey. You're going to have more than 150 people, and I don't have really good advice here. Optimize for everything. Limitations. I hate presentations that tell you what's wrong with them. So what's wrong with this one? Not all startups are venture fundable. If you're a company that is optimizing for something else, this might not be the right framework for you. If you want a lifestyle business, you want to just make $2 million a year and buy a boat and a cottage and put your kids through private school, maybe venture fundable isn't for you. You need to understand your cash requirements from the beginning. If it's going to take you $20 million in venture financing to get a $30 million exit, that's not going to work. There's not enough multiple there for a VC to make money. And most startups are exceptions to these rules. So example, Instagram, we all know it. 13 engineers, less than 4 years, $1 billion exit. So thank you, Zuckerberg, for blowing my comparables. So thank you very much, everybody. Think about what you're trying to do and how to best optimize for your personal future and what your team and you are best fit for. Thank you very much.
Whoa, Justin. Let's hear it. Guys, we're going to keep it to 2 questions. 2 questions. Nick, you want to run? Claude, you want to run into somebody? Don't be shy, guys.
Go first. Hey.
Sir.
Hi. How did you make $6,000 in second grade?
I made and manufactured devil sticks. Remember those things? Like, people that grew up here knew it was a thing in the 90s, I guess. I sold to like my principal, my vice principal, my teachers. I come home every day with like checks because they wouldn't give us 7-year-old cash, and my mom would deposit them.
Hello. A lot of your sentiments on stage echo hyper-growth as written by Eric Ries of The Startup Way. I wanted to ask, have you read this work or are you familiar with?
Uh-huh.
Would you suggest everyone in this room read it?
I don't know. Maybe. Your mileage will vary. One more question, I was told.
Sorry, I waited for everyone to see if there are any other questions, but nothing. But how do you become a billionaire?
Well, you sell your company for over $1 billion. How do you become a billionaire today? I think that if the unicorn exit is your goal, you need to think about how to build a startup for 10 plus years, and that you need to have the right mix of founders that can level up the company. And you got to be lucky in timing in a massive market that can build one product to start and end at 15 products.